welcome back to the Anglers List Tournament Series. I am your host, Tony Dahlberg, the real Tone D, for those that know. Wow, I'm kind of sweaty. I keep saying it. I've been posting on Facebook and went over on Instagram. I'm gonna wait for some people to start tuning in here. That was a pretty intense finish, at least from my perspective, trying to run through the score sheet here and get everything tallied up. But before we get going, and as I see people coming in to the live feed here, I appreciate that. Everybody, please share the live stream. Get your friends in here, get your family in here. You're not going to want to miss it. It was a pretty great showing here in this last round. While you guys are all funneling in here, I'm going to jump over into the comments. Wendy Johnson Wilcoxon, what a long wait anticipation building. Yes, indeed. And I'm going to make you wait a little bit longer, unfortunately. Hey, Della Bay over there on YouTube. What's up, guys? Nate or Sammy, I don't know who it is watching, but thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, we are going to get things going here. I'm going to run off, as usual, from the start, thanking our sponsors of this tournament series. Without them, it would be, not as great. And so we'll start it off with 903 Bait Company out of Bullard, Texas. They've got some pretty great baits in here. I never really ran through what's in this variety pack, but there's everything from worms to craws to paddle tails and swim baits, and you name it, he's got it. Like I keep saying, they got rattles in there. They're pretty sweet. 903 Bait Company. They hooked everybody up with packs of baits, even myself. I got lucky enough to get my hands on some, as you can see, and they were using them. It sounded like they were working, so go get you some of those. In addition, let's thank Hogsback Custom Rods. Not only did they have a team in this event, Jake Pills himself fished solo for the first round, but he was gracious enough to offer up a custom rod to the champions of this tournament series. That team will not be crowned until September, so you guys are going to still have to stick around, come back and watch this again for a whole nother 40 hours, but we will get to that in a few months. But they have donated a custom rod to the champion, and they've got tons of different varieties of open water and ice fishing rods. I keep pointing it out. I've got my ice fishing sticks here, a couple crappie rods, couple walleye sticks. I've got my big beefy musky rod as well. That thing's real fun to cast with. And of course, the trusty, probably my most used stick. I'm a huge pan fisherman. Great rod, awesome panfish rod. So if you're in the market, go check them out. And as usual, Minnesota Made Outdoors, we really appreciate you letting us use the YouTube channel and helping us promote this so we can get some eyeballs on. It's been a really great showing. So got that out of the way. In the comments there, Paul Gazzoni, Tony, great job hosting, brother. Fun to watch. These anglers hammer a grab bag of fish. Yes, this has been super, super exciting. Like I said, I'm kind of like shaking. I'm like nervous. I don't know why, but I think I'm just gotten a little bit of adrenaline rush going from watching that scoreboard there coming down to the wire. It was pretty dang intense. So we are going to run through as usual and get these guys check-ins done and hear from them, see how the end went from them, from their perspective. I know how it went from my perspective. I'll keep telling you, man, it was crazy. So, and also once we get through that, we'll go take a look at the scoreboard, see who our winner was. And, then I've asked any of the teams that are willing and want to come and join us on the live stream and talk a little bit. Looks like we've got Team Goodwill already waiting in the lobby here. If you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, we can't hear you, but if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. But anyways, before all that, let's get things rolling here with our check-ins and hear how it went for this final stretch for all these teams. We are going to start off with the Bass Holes.
Hey guys, Bass Holes here, checking in. We decided to call our quits a little early today. We had to get stuff ready for the week for work. We had one fish to report. Trent caught a 32-inch muskie. Caught some pike. Tried for sunfish, couldn't get the species we were after. But yeah, we had a blast doing it. Hope everyone else had just as much fun as we did. And we're excited for the next one. So we'll see you guys then. Bass Holes out.
Great work to those guys. They did have a little bit of a struggle if you've been following along. It was slow going for them and putting some points on the board, but you will see here how that panned out for them. But cool to see that a muskie was scored. I was interested to see if anyone was going to target that, and they did end up putting one on the board for us. So next up, we have Team 10 Pounder.
What's going on, everyone? Final check-in, Team 10 Pounder. Sure, not the only ones. Little damp, little tired. Just getting done in front of the cold front here. We started off the morning in the backwaters down by Wabasha, but took a detour here during the final period. Decided to do a little bit of trout fishing. Went up a creek and chased a couple points there. I'd say we batted 1 for 2. Got absolutely drenched. Saw some new country. Overall, had an average time at best. Trickled our way back down to the Mississippi, and just for fun, we ended up on a short spot here, the wind-blown shores of Lake Pepin, just to say we gave her a final go.
Yeah, so we did get a brown trout. Don't know if anyone else did this last period. We got a rainbow too, but 1/4 inch shorter than Riley's. So, and then the other notable fish, we got another nice flathead, but it was an inch shorter than the one from last night. So it was a nice chunky one, but that's about it.
Yeah, fishing was kind of slow today. It felt like we put more species on the board than we did fish in the boat. You know, that's not technically possible, but also feels weird to end the day shore fishing when we busted our butts yesterday trying to get the boat running again. But yeah, it was a solid weekend. A lot of fun, and excited to see where the results shake out. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Go get dry, get some sleep.
Yeah, those guys, they had also a bit of a struggle to start things off, fixing a boat, wasting an entire period on that. But like he said, just stacking up species. That is one of the categories, side bets, I should say, for these guys. So we'll see what happened there as well. But big thing is we need to see who won it all for this event. But before we get to that, let's hear it from Team Hogsback.
Hey guys, final check-in for Team Hogsback. Us, like everyone else, we got pretty soaked. Went after a few species. We ended up catching 1 scoreable fish. Pretty good one at that. So excited for you guys to see that one. I feel like we had a good tournament. I feel like there was a lot of really good fish scored. Flathead, moon eye, that kind of thing that we were going after. We thought maybe we'd be the ones to hit that, but it seems like there's a lot of guys that were also going after those species, and they outdid us. So overall, we had a ton of fun. I know Michael had a ton of fun too.
Oh yeah.
It was a grind, but we're excited to see the final scores and then start looking forward to September. So yeah.
Hogsback out.
Hogsback out.
Great work by Team Hogsback. Got to hand it to him. Jake started things off by himself, like I said, and fortunately his brother was able to join him there for the rest of the event. But they put some numbers on the board, and we'll see where that shakes out here for them. But everybody seems to be pretty soggy after today's fishing. So everybody is hopefully getting dry right now, tuning in, watching this, waiting in anticipation. All right, next up, we're going to hear from the Googans.
Googans here for our final check-in. Just want to start by saying we had an absolute blast this weekend. Super cool to see how many fish 6 teams of 2 could catch in just 40 hours. It's pretty cool. But for our fish, started off pretty slow, lots of small fish, couple turtles,
yeah. Got a painted and a soft shell at our first spot.
and then made a move, just kind of ditched that effort. Couldn't get our species. Came down to the Croy and told Colton very confidently, like, hey, way too early for flatheads. We're just gonna hopefully pop a nice channel cat, maybe some bonus suckers or whatever. We were there for about 10 minutes and popped a giant flathead at 4:30 on a piece of cut drum, for anyone wondering. And so then after that, my weekend was made. I was happy. I told Colton, every bite the rest of the night, it's all yours.
So yeah, it was like, honestly, it was 2 minutes after we had that whole ordeal, lines going, boom, pulling a nice soft shell turtle. Cool. And then 10 minutes
Turtle
later,
number 3.
turtle number 3 in the day. And then 10 minutes later, rod starts boinging, go up, set the hook, turtle number 4 for the day. Then, I don't know, 10 minutes later, the rod starts boinging and set the hook. And I told Riley, this is not a turtle. This is a nice
Absolutely
fish.
not a turtle.
Absolutely not a turtle. And then I started reeling it in, and I was like, if it is a turtle, it's a giant snapper. And what comes to the surface? A giant snapper. And I got him right in the beak, and we were able to get the hook out.
So needless to say, Turtle Island is a good flat.
Yeah,
spot.
Turtle Island is the new spot. We were able to get the hook out of his mouth and keep all our fingers and everything, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, so.
And then the weather turned and got worse, and fishing, we just didn't really catch anything else.
Yeah, so hope everyone had a great weekend and successful last period, and yeah, everyone get some rest and look forward to work on Monday.
Have a good one, everybody.
Wow. The Googans may need to think about changing their name to Team Ninja Turtle. Wow. Turtle Island really put on a good show for those guys. Sounds like a lot of fun. And fortunately, you made it out with all your fingers after catching a snapper in the mouth. I would have been cutting lines and getting my hands as far away from that damn thing as possible. Hey, we may need to think about adding turtles to this species list. But nice work to the Googans. We will get to their scores here in just a little bit. Let me jump over the comments really quick. Minnesota Made Outdoors is in the comments. Nice work, Michelangelo and Leonardo. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We need a name change to Team Ninja Turtles. All right. Let's hear from Team Goodwill next.
Hi guys, this is Team Goodwill checking in for the last and final time. We have 2 species to check in. We have a 7.5 inch pumpkin seed, just a 1/4 inch past what the one on the previous board was. Hopefully that holds. And then we also have a
16-inch white sucker, so hopefully that'll also hold.
I know we're not the only people looking for those points right now, so I just want to say thank you to everybody watching, Tony and Sheriff for moderating and all the behind-the-scene effort, 903 Baits, and
Hogsback Custom Rods, and thanks Minute Maid for helping us out getting this thing going.
yeah,
Definitely appreciate it. Hope everybody has as much fun as we did. Can't wait for the next one.
and thank you all the other anglers that participated this year. So, see you.
Nice work, Team Goodwill. You guys were putting in some work there. It looked like they're still their check-in came in while they were fishing, I think. Maybe not. I could be wrong, but they they put some numbers up. They put up a good fight. And we're going to get a look at that scoreboard here shortly. And as they said, thank you to all those sponsors once again. We very, very much appreciate it. All right, last but not least, Team Mud Puddle is checking in here.
Hey guys, Team Mud Puddle checking in here, just winding up. Had a great tournament. We had a couple rough check-ins there, so we kind of had to scramble for this last one and put the pieces together because whatever we were doing wasn't working. So
yeah, I went and did a little ditch hopping, a little bit of bushwhacking.
yeah,
And yeah, found a couple species we hadn't registered yet. So a little bit handout.
yeah. We'll see if they were worth a point or not. We were awfully excited to see what you guys did. It was an awesome tournament again. Had a blast, and can't wait for the next one, boys.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Ooh, cut off a little early there, but yes, those guys kind of made a name for themselves just tromping through the woods, getting poison ivy and wood ticks this event. But they did put on a good show, caught quite a few fish, put up some good numbers here. And it's getting to be about that time that we start talking about the scoreboard. I'm having a hard time deciding how I want to go into this, but I think the way that I want to start here is I'm going to show you what the score sheet looked like after that last round first, and we will get to the final score sheet after that. I know you guys have been waiting. I hate to keep it waiting. It is late. I appreciate you being here, and let's take a look at what the score sheet looked like before going into this final round here. It was pretty close, but there was some clear separation, but if we can get that up here. All right, so this is what we had coming out of that last round. We had the Googans, I apologize, the Googans in first place with 6 total species, and holding on to that for quite a while there. They had been hanging on to the lead, but there was some shifting, some stealing of points over that last round, and Tenny Pounder made a huge jump. They were sitting in second place with 5 total species, and they broke that tie with Team Mud Puddle because of the total inches at 114 and a quarter. Mud Puddle with 5 species and 81 and a quarter. So those two teams were sitting at a tie, but Tenny Pounder was in second, Mud Puddle in third. Then you've got Hogsback coming up in fourth place with 4 species total. And then we had another tie between Goodwill and the Bass Holes, and the Bass Holes edged Goodwill after that round to take 5th place with 3 species and 71 and a quarter inches, and Goodwill hanging in there in 6th place with 3 species, which they've been hanging on to for quite a while. There wasn't a lot of movement on their board there up until this last round here. So that's what it looked like. We had a total of 26 scoreable fish on the board. That means 26 different species have been approved and counted for points, and that totaled out to about 441 and a quarter inches total. So that's what it looked like after that last round. Make a mental note. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to throw it up on the side here so you guys can see it as we go through our new scoreboard. So there you have it. I've got some stuff hidden here because I'm going to keep that anticipation for you guys. It may be kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you just so you can take a look at what this is. That scoreboard is unbelievably close, and you can kind of understand why I was a little bit stressed out. And yeah, it's close. Look at how close that is. One fish separation, 2 fish separation from last place to first place. So it comes down to inches. As you can see, that is hidden right now as we talk. And we will get into the fish that they all scored. But Looks like the Googans and Team Mud Puddle are tied for first right now as it stands. Then Team Goodwill making a huge push there in this last round. And they are sitting in third place right now with 5 fish. And Hogsback, Tenny Pounder, and the Bass Holes all hanging on to fourth place with that tie. But without any more waiting, any more anticipation, I am going to reveal who our champion was for event number 1. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's see it. Unhide. And there you have it, folks. The Googans pull it off for event number 1 with 6 total species and 125 3/4 inches. Congratulations to those guys. They put up a heck of a showing. Non-stop catching from those guys. I mean, they were putting in fish, trying to go after that species award, that little side bet that they have we'll get to in a little bit. As we run through the score sheet here, we've got the Googans in first place, of course, our champions, Team Mud Puddle, right behind them there with 6 species and 102 total inches. In second place, Team Mud Puddle. In third place, Team Goodwill. Like I said, they made a huge push there, jumped up, and a lot of this is coming down to some stolen points, which we'll get to in a minute. In fourth place, Team the Bass Holes, and I think a lot of that has to do with putting a muskie on the board. The Bass Holes take it down. They've got fourth place. I'm sorry. Tenny Pounder coming in fifth place, and Team Hogsback taking up the rear here in sixth place with 4 species and 63.5 inches. So that's what the leaderboard looks like. Congratulations to the Googans. You guys are our champions for this event. So let's see what that looked like in terms of species, because this is where it got pretty interesting for me. I'm trying to tally up numbers and make sure I can get you guys accurate scores. And wow, this is where it got a little bit crazy. So I'm just going to cut to the chase towards the end there. We had some not last minute, but really close to the final lines out call at 9 p.m. We had a pumpkin seed, which was a huge steal, absolutely huge steal for Team Goodwill. They submit a 7.5 inch pumpkin seed at 8:55 with 5 minutes to spare. And they had actually submit a fish of 7.25, I believe it was, just before that, which tied the fish that Team Mud Puddle had. So they stole a point from Team Mud Puddle, and it was pretty close there. But Team Mud Puddle themselves stole a point in that red horse. The red horse coming off the board for Teams Hogsback and going to Team Mud Puddle, which was kind of the dagger in the back for Hogsback there. And they also made up a little ground, taking the channel catfish. Team Hogsback took the channel catfish point away from Tenny Pounder. And Tenny Pounder, as they said, they went on a little bit of a trout chasing mission, putting a brown trout on the board, adding the brown trout species to our list, which is one of the 3 that was added. They took the brown trout point there. And the Bass Holes, like we said before, added the muskie to the list. A lot of their fish came with some length, which kind of helped them get up the leaderboard there with the total inches, because that's what our tiebreaker was, a 3-way tie there at 4 species, and they handily took it with those long fish that they were submitting. And throughout the rest here, the Googans put that flathead on the board. It was kind of funny sitting here waiting for things to come along, and I started getting some text messages, or got a text message from one of the guys, and they were having trouble submitting through our app. and they weren't able to send a picture because of service issues. So they were pretty stoked on that fish. It did, in fact, finally come in officially well within our time frame there at 8:12 p.m. So that was great to see, and obviously Riley was really stoked on that fish. If turtles were a category, they would have absolutely swept the board. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place here, but that's really how it shook down for me while I was trying to add this up. I forgot to mention Team Goodwill made another huge addition to the list with that muskie as a new species, the brown trout as a new species, and then they got that white sucker at 16 inches, which really helped them, jump up the leaderboard and take that third place for this event. So again, congratulations to everybody. I'm going to run over to the comments here really quick. Tom Thunti, Skoll Googans, Wendy Johnson, Wilcoxon, well done Googans. Nice fight, Team Mud Puddle. Awesome comeback, Team Goodwill. Tammy Good, congratulations everyone. Yes, absolutely. Jess Althoff, what a change. Good work everyone. And Doyle Tillich, hope those 903 Bait Company lures worked. In fact, they did. I did get a picture from Team Goodwill with a largemouth on the line using those 903 baits. So let's do a quick run through on some of these fish that we caught throughout the day. We kind of forgot to look at fish that last round, so we're gonna take a look at some of these fish here. And I got Team Goodwill here in the lobby waiting to come in, but I'll run through this really quick. So this is Team Goodwill's pumpkin seed. They had a really cool picture of this fish. I wanted to show that to you guys. There it is right there. Look at that beauty. I love a good pumpkin seed any day. Nice shot there, guys. And then we will get the photo of that. This will be either the hero shot, or there it is, the bump board shot. Indeed, that is a nice fish, 7.5 incher. Great fish. All right, and then let's take a look at that white sucker, as it was the new species for this round. There you have it, Mr. Cody Good holding that one up. Beautiful fish. If you like suckers. Let's take a look at that one on the bump board. There it is. Tail touching 16 inches even. Tim Wilcoxon Fun Tournament. Congrats to all. Absolutely. Rock bass, green sunfish, and black crappie. We've looked at those. They've had those points for quite some time. Hogsback with a channel catfish. This was their big fish of that last round. Let's take a look at that one. There it is. Wow. That thing is a beast. 35 on the dot with our indicator in the picture. And there you have it. Jake holding that big beast up. Man, that'd be a fun fish to catch. All right, and this was one of the fish that I believe, last round Hogsback submit this white bass, I believe it was. Oh no, this was a yesterday fish. We looked at that one. Little guy, little white bass, and the bullhead and the yellow perch, those were all yesterday as well. Team Mud Puddle with their red horse. That was a stolen point from this round. Let's get a look at that one. There you have it. Dion holding up his red horse for the day. That was a great steal by those guys. If you were watching the scoreboard with me, just the back and forth, stolen point, new species, it was just getting intense. There you have it on the bump board. Tails on the 18 3/4 inch with our indicator in the picture. I believe, there we go. We've got a brook trout as well, which is a great fish to have on the board. That was a stolen point from the Googans. Mud Puddle put a brookie on the board. Let's get a look at that. Little guy, but as they said, just bushwhacking through some thick ferns, it looks like. Those are some pretty looking fish, brook trout are. They don't get terribly large, but that is okay when they are as pretty as they are. AJ Walsbrenzer, way to go, guys. Fun to watch, and good luck tomorrow morning at work. Absolutely. Wendy Wilcoxon, wowzers. And there you have it on the bump board with our indicator for this last round, the brook trout. And let's see. We looked at all of these fish already. If you guys want to see some of these other fish, let me know. I know it's getting late, but we are going to take a run through, look at a couple more, and then get Team Goodwill up here to chat with those guys as they've been waiting patiently for us. All right, 10 pounder put a brown trout on the board, which we did not have previously. There it is on the bump board. Tail on 13.5. And the hero shot. Let's see who our angler was here. There you have it, Kevin. Those are some pretty looking fish too, the brown trout. I have not chased trout in much of my fishing career. I caught a couple through the ice this last season, but great work, guys. 10 pounder. Let's see. We had a moon eye. This was one from last round that I did not show. I was kind of hustling through last time. Think I missed some comments here. Wendy Johnson Wilcoxon, nice ads with the muskie and the brown trout. Matt Duong, event number 2 side bet equals total turtle inches. Yeah, that would be one. I imagine they're going to go back to Turtle Island, as they called it. There's that moon eye. Tails on the 13 3/4 mark. Kind of a goofy looking fish. That one's got our indicator in there for last round on it. And then you've got Mr. Dan Schoss holding up that beauty of a moon eye. Just a goofy looking fish, though. All right, let's move it down the line here. 10 pounder shovel nose sturgeon. We took a look at that yesterday. All right, the bass holes with the muskie, one of my favorite new favorite species, as I just started chasing them with my Hogsback custom rod. There it is on the bump board, indicator and all. Tail touching 32 inches even. And we will see who our hero was. There it is, Mr. Trent. Nice fish, nice muskie, good point. Matt is tossing out guesses for the scramble word contest. You need to run over to that post on our Facebook page and post your guess right there. Let's see here. We had a drum by the bass holes as well. We'll take a look at that one. And then a couple more from the Googans and get Team Goodwill up here. There it is. A big old drum. Nice fish. And one last one on the bump board. There it is with our indicator and all. Nose touching. Tail on the 23 3/4 inch line. That thing is massive. You see a lot of guys catch those while they're chasing walleyes too, so that is a fun fight. All right, and then let's take a look at the last fish from the Team Googans, the one that Riley was so stoked on. Look at that beast. Caught that thing at, I think he said 4:30 in the afternoon. Just enormous. Beautiful fish. There's your hero hold. Got to hold those bad boys sideways. Don't want to get stuck with those big fins. Big old mouth on that Fish there. And on the bump board for our last picture here. Gosh, that thing is huge. Look at that. 37.5 incher. I can only imagine the fight that thing put up. But great work to the Googans, taking it down for the Event 1 champions. And I'm not going to make Goodwill wait any longer. If you guys are ready, I'm going to bring them in here. We'll chat for a little bit, and then we can talk about the Species Award while they're with us here. So I'm going to take this off the screen. Hey, I'm back. What's up, guys? And let's add Goodwill. What's up, Cole and Cody? How are you guys? You're on mute. You have to take it off mute there.
How about now?
There we go. Yep, we've got you now.
There it is.
How we doing, boys? You got
A lot
do you
warmer
have
now.
enough energy. You're warmer. Yes, I imagine.
Definitely
Yeah.
tired.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Guys, that ending was kind of insane from my perspective. When you stole that pumpkin seed, I was losing my damn mind. That was insane. and all for a 7.5-inch pumpkin seed.
You know, we had a conversation about that pumpkin seed, and it all was sent back to that first event in Chisago, and Min made our pan fishing league. It was like, where the heck we got to be able to get one? Just a 7.5-inch pumpkin seed. They got a 7.25. That's all. That's just sitting there. You know, that was literally it. Like we're sorting through pumpkin seed after pumpkin seed, looking for a 7.5-inch pumpkin seed.
We probably went through, I don't know, 100 fish just to get that one.
Wow.
There's so many dinks out there, but you know, it's like we just needed a 1/4 inch.
It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like you were submitting for the Species Award because you put that 7.25 on there, and then not too long after that comes in the 7.5, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, why are they submitting another seed? And then I look at I'm like, oh my god, they stole a point, and that was a huge steal. From your guys' perspective, you didn't see like where things were moving. That ended up being a big steal on the day. And you guys putting that white sucker on the board as well was huge. So,
Well, anytime we can steal points from Dion and Zach, I mean,
Well, last year the opposite happened. We went into the final round with 3 points, added a pumpkin seed, and ended up with just the pumpkin seed.
it was only natural that we had to have it.
yeah. Scoring 5 points over 1 point is good in my book any day. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So, overall, what's the morale like? I mean, are you guys feeling satisfied?
Yeah, actually, whenever we got that fish in the boat, threw it on the board, and we're like, yes, that right there was worth it. But very exhausted otherwise.
Oh yeah, it's like you're so tired, you're awake. I don't know, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Did you do much sleeping? I mean, I know everybody mentioned it in their check-ins, but how much actual sleep did you get?
We got a few hours overnight last night, but it wasn't intentional. So,
Yeah, we probably got, I would say maybe 3 or 4 hours. Definitely missed a couple fish while we were sleeping, but it was much needed sleep.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was last check-in or not, but you had mentioned the bells dinging or something, and just not giving a shit. And so.
Yeah, that was our overnight check-in, and I heard it. I was so tired I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. I went up, checked my line, and went right back to bed.
I don't blame you. I caught myself falling asleep a couple times, and I didn't have to put in the work you guys did. I was falling asleep just hanging out at the house here. So, good on you for what you guys did over this weekend. It looked like a lot of fun, but the weather did that play a huge factor in the fish you were catching? I know you said you had a pretty big heartbreak there on one fish.
Oh yeah, where were we in? What county were we in?
We were in
St. Louis County. We were looking for a big lake trout on this old mine pit, and we were probably trolling for a good 2-3 hours, and we just seen them everywhere out there. And we finally got into one, it was just the biggest head shakes I've ever seen. And of course, they're always the biggest head shakes you've ever seen when you've been waiting for 3 hours for it. Just, but yeah, it came off a dipsy diver and it just snapped, and we just saw the head shakes on the pole, and oh my God, we were like, this is it. This is that lake trout we were looking for.
I was peeling line like we were stuck on bottom, but we were in 250 feet of water, so we knew we weren't stuck on the bottom.
I would hope not. Jeez. So you had downriggers down, I imagine, for something
No,
like that?
just running dipsy divers about 100 to 115 feet down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that hit, and we started reeling that thing in there, and I don't know if the wind changed and we went into neutral, and I got a little slack in the line and we lost them. And
Dang.
yeah, and then the rain just pounded us after that.
Yeah, well,
So
fortunately you had that nice bimini cover on your boat. That saves a little bit, but doesn't keep
Yeah.
it completely dry. Cole, Jamie is saying, I hope your boss understands when you're half asleep at work tomorrow.
I don't know who that is.
Cody.
He's a rough guy, I hear.
Yeah. No, nice. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't have a tournament like this out without some heartbreak. I mean, I know the Bass Holes mentioned missing a muskie in that last round, and I had confidence that they were going to put it up, which fortunately they did. So, did you guys chase any other species that you wish you would have put up and just couldn't close the deal, whether it was not?
We were looking for a brook.
Whatever.
Yeah, we were looking for a brook trout. We couldn't find that. Like lake trout, like we just explained, we had one bite on it and we lost our opportunity. We were chasing what else really? I mean, we hit most of the target species like pretty much on the nuts. I mean,
They just weren't the size that we were after for the most part. Rainbow trout was one on there that we were trying for, but with low hopes.
yeah, we couldn't dial in on the trout at all. That was a struggle.
That trout point seems to be kind of a game changer. If you can get a trout on your board, that's a tough one to steal because it's a big decision to chase after that species, I think. So.
Oh yeah, you're committing to a drive, just in that alone. So, but
yeah, or a hike. You know, if you're going back into some deep backwaters there. So, well, awesome work, guys. I don't want to keep you any longer unless you have. Do you got anything else you want to mention and say or talk about? I've got Mud Puddle in the lobby here, so I might bring those guys
Are we going to let them jump in? Other than that, just want to say a big thank you to everybody who helped make this thing work.
Yeah, everyone that worked. I know you've been up just as much as us, almost. So
not quite as much. I've gotten more sleep than you guys. So
okay, but thank you specifically, and Shara too. So and everybody else that's put this to where it's at. So.
No,
all right,
it's not a problem.
Tell Mud Puddle we stole their pumpkin seed.
Absolutely. All right,
thanks,
guys. Get some rest. Have a good week at work. We'll be talking.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Bye. Later. All right. That was Team Goodwill. Appreciate them stopping by and chatting with us. Like I said, we've got Team Mud Puddle in the lobby. Let's bring those guys up and chat for a minute. What up, guys? You are on mute. I'm going to unmute you. Nope, can't do it. You got to do it yourself. Oh, still on mute. Oh, and we lost them. They were here. Let's give them a few minutes to come back. But while we wait for them to log back in here, thank you to everyone that's been tuning in and watching. And those of you that are still hanging on, I appreciate that as well. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I am having fun doing this, especially tonight. There they are. They're back. Let's get them back up here. Team Mud Puddle. What is up, fellas?
Hey, how you doing?
How are you? Are you driving back from a lake? Are you headed?
I am. Yeah, I'm driving. Yeah. Zach's taking a nap. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling? Were you feeling as much anxiety as I was going into the end there? I mean, you couldn't see the scoreboard, but there was some stealing going on, and it was getting intense. Could you feel that pressure, or were you kind of just hoping?
We're feeling a little pressured. We're kind of hoping, you know. I mean,
Yeah. We knew the weather was tough on everyone, and we didn't know how committed everyone would be.
We're kind of hoping.
Oh, we got an echo there.
Oh, is that better there?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, we'll stop here. No, we knew it was going to be close, and with the weather, we knew some teams maybe would quit a little early, or you'd keep them from going to some places that they'd want to go. So we knew we had a chance to come back a little bit, and it started with that trout that we caught, taking that from the Googans.
Yeah.
That kind of set the momentum and put a little pep in our step.
Yeah, it definitely got us going again.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
We were really dogging there after the last couple periods, and then all it takes is one fish, and your heart's flying, and you're back in it. So
yeah, you said it. I mean, that's looking at the scoreboard after each round. I mean, the beginning, there's pretty good spread. 3 fish from the end from last place to first place, and then it gets down to 1, and then you get the separation again. So going into that last round, from 6th place to first place, there was a 3-fish separation, but there was 1 fish in between each team all the way through there. So you guys stealing that brook trout early was huge, but then coming in to the later hours, well, the last hour of the event, what was it? Let me see. 8:48 p.m. you guys turned in a red horse, which was an absolutely massive steal. How?
Yeah,
are
and
you guys saving that?
That was actually one of the most stressful parts. Is we were fishing, out on the Croy, and we had no cell service,
nothing,
and so our submissions wouldn't go through. We caught that probably around 8, so it was a little earlier.
We spent some time trying to get some signal so we could stay fishing. Finally,
we ended up leaving the river about a half an hour early just to go drive into some cell service and make sure that got in.
Okay, so that's part of this whole deal with the having to submit remote like that, having cell service, and it plays into your strategy. Did you guys throughout the other rounds, were you making decisions on where to go and timing wise so that you knew, all right, we need to get these fish submit by whenever, or were you just kind of hoping that you could snag a quick cell signal from some rogue tower somewhere?
Most of the time we had pretty good signal.
Yeah. I guess the only time that I can think of that that was an influence in any way was maybe yesterday going into the second period. There was the bowfin. We wanted to target that, but if we got it into the first period check-in, everyone knows right then. But if we do it in the second period, they got to wait another 8 hours before they figure it out, or something like that. So we held off on going to a body of water for that. But otherwise we were pretty good, just about everywhere else with cell service.
Yeah, I mean with cell technology now, I mean there's not a lot of places that you don't get cell signal, but you get farther up north, I know it gets pretty dicey, and certain places on the river get pretty dicey as well. So as far as weather and all that, I know you guys had a little bit of weather that you had to deal with. Did it play a big role in the bites you were after, or did you just battle through it and it still worked out for you?
We definitely battled through them, but it affected the bite for sure.
The further south we came, the better the bite got for us. We started our day up in, I think, St. Louis County or somewhere,
St. Louis County.
somewhere up there.
Yeah,
and we got soaked all day long, from probably 6 a.m. on.
Pretty much
7 a.m. And a lot of our stuff, we were hiking and walking through a lot of woods, and everything was soaked. I don't know how many times we changed today into dry clothes just to get them soaked again.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question. Are you guys packing like a giant army-sized duffel bag of just spare clothes, or how you
No,
doing
we
that?
got the defroster on high, you know.
Yeah. Change it into the last set.
Putting them on the dash and cranking
Yeah.
it
Yeah. It's something else in this truck right now.
Oh yeah, the smells have got to be just wretched there. Did you have any more encounters with the poison ivy and wood ticks, or
No, we got some more leeches today.
Leeches.
leeches?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
With some of those waters.
Yeah, I mean, some of them you kind of have to just to get the good cast in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, back to the bites, you know, the weather, it definitely seemed to play a big impact. You know, we had some pre-fishing that was done recently, and you know, we get that big string, all that warm weather, and you know, come tournament day, you got a nasty cold front and rainstorm coming in, and it's gonna throw everything off. So it was a battle for sure.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that's what keeps it exciting. You know, if it was easy, it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, everybody would do it. I wish
Yep.
everybody would do it. That would have been actually. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I am glad we only had 6 teams.
Yeah.
With the 16 teams, we would have needed about 2 to 3 of me and probably 4 Sharas, just to keep track of this scoreboard and species identification. And man, it gets a little bit hectic. So I'm glad everything worked out for us here. But
Yeah.
so going into event number 2, you and the Googans, I guess, total species wise, you guys are tied. Do you got any new game plans to kind of step it up a notch and just really start checking them off right away, or keeping that tight to the chest?
We I'd say I can tell one bit. We made some big bad calls this weekend on where we're going for a couple species. We're really trying to get some oddballs in there, and we struck out on a few of them.
Yeah.
And we ended up tallying it up. Out of the 40 hours, we spent, I think, about 13 of it driving.
Ooh, that does
So
take a chunk of your fishing time.
yeah,
Way
yeah.
more
So if we can minimize that a little bit more, you know, that leaves a little bit more room for lines in the water.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think that's a good call. I mean, it's going to take, well, you got 70 some days or whatever somebody said.
76.
Yeah, 76 days until event
Yeah.
number 2. So you got plenty of time to get the logistics down and all that. So I guess.
Yeah, we're actually going to pre-fish right now.
Oh, nice. You're just calling in sick and just we're pre-fishing till September. Nice. I guess I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that will be the interesting part about September. You know, is everyone's strategy is gonna have to change a little bit with the fish changing where they're setting up at that time of the year, and a lot of other factors too. So it'll be interesting to see the difference in species that come in, and how the bite compares. You know.
100%. Different time of year, September, pushing towards fall. I think the bite's going to change quite a bit. But do you think? Personally, I think that the trout point, regardless of species of trout, I think that's a huge point. Do you think that's going to be focused on a little heavier, or is it going to continue with the more rough fish type points?
I mean, we don't really cross anything off the list, and all the species are definitely still on the board for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. The trout, they're a tricky one. You know, we're not trout experts by any means. And we struck out. I know Goodwill was talking about it. We tried for rainbows too, and didn't accomplish what we were trying to do there. You know, that I think the biggest thing is just learning more about the fish that you're trying to target. And any time of year, most fish, you know, they pretty much have to eat something sometimes. So you just got to put the pieces to the puzzle together. And I think the trout will all still be a factor in the next one.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a matter of who's going after them and if people are ready to expand their reach. It seemed like a couple of the teams kept pretty close to home for various reasons, but those I think it shows that those that were out and about and spreading across the state, they had a little bit easier time putting species on the board. That's for sure. So.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have anything other specific questions for you guys. You got anything else you want to say or mention or shout out or any of that?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to you for hosting. It's been fun watching everything and seeing you go through all the check-ins and videos and all the submissions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The suspense is killing us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been fun stumbling and mumbling through this whole thing. It's interesting. I like it. I was a little leery coming into it, just wondering what the hell this is going to be all about. But this is really fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to you and
Yeah.
Shara and the sponsors. That's awesome that those guys stepped up and wanted to sponsor us. And we used the 903 baits too.
Yeah.
There's a point yesterday where we were throwing the swim baits
Couldn't
and
keep them off.
yeah, it was probably
It was-
I couldn't tell you how many casts in a row we're catching pike and bass on these swim baits and
nice.
Everything else. It was a good time. We put some of those baits to the test and they put fish in the
passed.
boat.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're gonna need to hit them up again. Get a restock. The baits are beat up. We need more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. That is good to hear.
It was an awesome time. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, guys. Go get some rest and have a good rest of your week. We'll be talking soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Good one.
Talk
Bye.
to you later. Can you still see me? Oh, there, we're back. Anyways, I did miss one piece of the puzzle. I don't know who's still watching as far as our teams go, but we did not talk about their side bet. They had a little bit of a bet to see who can catch the most species overall, regardless of points. So I did a little bit of a calculation here. After tallying up the scores, I put together a spreadsheet that is ugly at best, but I can show you guys that here. We can take a quick run through it, and then I will be letting you guys go. Unless you guys want to hang around and chat, I'm up for anything here. So we'll get that score sheet up on the board here. So here we go. They wanted to tally up and see who caught the most species overall. And that team will get a little bit of a prize. I think it might be a cash prize between them. So as we look across the board here, the top, we've got Team Goodwill. They submit 10 species overall: black crappie, bluegill, green sunfish, largemouth bass, northern pike, pumpkin seed, rock bass, smallmouth bass, walleye, and white sucker. 10 species total for Team Goodwill. Team Hogsback, they put up a total of 12 species, being the black crappie, the bluegill, bullhead, channel catfish, drum, flathead catfish, largemouth bass, mooneye, red horse, walleye, white bass, and yellow perch, for a total of 12 species. That was 13 total fish caught for those guys, or maybe not caught, but submit. So of the 12 species, they caught 13 total fish. We'll go back to Goodwill. Of the 10 species, they caught 18 total fish. So multiple of each species. Over here to Mud Puddle, the team we were just talking to, they put up 12 species: black crappie, bluegill, bowfin, brook trout, channel cat, common carp, goldeye, largemouth bass, mooneye, pumpkin seed, red horse, rock bass, and that was a total of 19 fish caught and 12 different species. I'm working our way across here. 10 pounder, they had a total of 14 different species with 15 fish caught, and that would be a bluegill, brown trout, channel cat, drum, flathead catfish, largemouth bass, mooneye, pike, rainbow trout, sauger, shovel-nosed sturgeon, smallmouth bass, walleye, and yellow perch. The bass holes, and I am going to refer to them as the underdogs. If you're a gambler, I would be betting on these guys because they're going to be coming swinging in the second event. They had 6 total species with 6 fish submit. That is a drum, a lake sturgeon, a muskie, a northern pike, a smallmouth bass, and a walleye. Those guys, I think they're a force to be reckoned with because they have something to prove coming into event 2. And last but not least, we have the Googans with 9 total species, 16 fish submit. That is a bluegill, a brook trout, a drum, flathead catfish, northern pike, rainbow trout, red horse, smallmouth bass, and a splake. So with all that being totaled up, it looks like our species award for event 1 goes to Team 10 Pounder. And that actually contradicts what I said when I was talking to Mud Puddle. The teams that expand out throughout the state are going to have a better time with the species. It sounded like those guys hung around the Mississippi River in the Red Wing, Wabasha area. And they were able to put 14 total species on the board for this event. So congratulations to 10 Pounder. You guys are going to have to communicate and talk about how you're going to pay up on that bet. But you are our species award winner for event 1. So there you have it. I think I covered all the bases. I did want to talk through a couple things on just total numbers here. So looking at our score sheet, it looks like we had a total of 87 submissions overall on the day, which is kind of crazy to me. That's a lot of fish to be submit for 6 different teams fishing over 40 hours. We had 87 submissions on 29 different species for a total of 1,340 and 1/4 inches. Pretty awesome stat there, and we will keep those numbers running into event 2. But really cool to see what that looks like here. And here, let me just give you a view of what I'm seeing here, just so you can get a grasp on the sheer numbers that we're playing with here. So again, there's my totals up here on the top. Total fish submissions would be 87. Total inches, 1,340 and 1/4 inches. And it is a long list of submissions. If anyone is interested to take a deeper look at this, let me know. Drop a comment. Send me a message. I can probably get you a copy of this list if you're interested for any reason whatsoever. But really cool to see all the different species that we were able to check off that list. Now remember, our species list has a total of 49 fish on it. So of those 49, we were able to check off 29 of them. There's 20 fish left on that list. We'll see how that changes going into event number 2, and see how that plays out for everyone. Quick rundown on how things are going to work here going forward. Event 1 is over and done with the Googans taking home the championship this weekend, but that does not finish things here. We are going to carry their points into event number 2. So as the scoreboard sits with all of our teams, the Googans and Team Mud Puddle have 6 total points. The Bass Holes, 10 Pounder, and Hogsback have 4 total points, and Goodwill with 5 points. Now, we are going to clear the species. We're going to clear the board. It's going to be all species are open for the taking coming into event number 2 in September. But we will add their scores from event 2 to their scores from event number 1. And the total cumulative score at the end will be our champion. I have yet to determine how I'm going to do that efficiently, but that is how it's going to shake out. So things are not over. If you have had fun watching this, I suggest you stay tuned. We're going to try to stay active, keep you guys in the loop on any changes that we come up with, and different little things that we might do. I'm going to try my best. I would really like to get a sit down with each individual team or do a group chat somewhere with everybody and talk through how things are shaking out for them, if they've got plans changed from event 1 to event 2, or just a general discussion about strategy. If they're willing to share that with me, I would love to do some more of these interviews and live streams for you guys, if you're so inclined. If you have any ideas for us, if you'd like to see anything specifically, shoot us a message over at the Anglers List Facebook page. You can contact me directly. I'm Tony Dahlberg over on Facebook. You can find me there, or Instagram and any of the other social media. Just type in Real Tone D and you will find me. If you need to contact me, I'd be happy to help you in any way I can. So, with all that being said, I think I covered all the bases. Does anyone still watching? We got 14 of you in here still. Do any of you have questions for me right now? Do you want to see anything else? Do you want to see some pictures of fish? I got a ton of them. Anything. Let me know. I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer. I'm still pretty amped up after this event, so I need to calm down a little bit. Yeah, this was fun. I wish I could fish in this event, but I actually don't think I could shake a stick at what these guys are doing. That's why I'm here doing this, and then I'll just keep score. That's what I'll do. Keep score and do live feed. Matt Duong, thanks for putting this on. Absolutely. I love it. This is fun for me. This is fun to show you guys what Minnesota anglers are all about, and I appreciate you all tuning in and following along. Don't go away, because we have a ton more. We have so much more. Wendy Coxon, can we see the big cat again? Absolutely. Who doesn't want to see a big catfish? Let's see if we can find that photo here. We are. And we'll throw that up on the screen once again. Oh, this is a great picture. Holy cow. Come on, share screen. There we are. Boom. There he is, big kitty. And he came in at 37.5 inches. Riley was absolutely stoked about this fish. He was getting a little nervous that he couldn't submit due to service and all that, but he was texting, making sure we knew he had a submittable fish, and he wanted that on the scoreboard. Of course, we did not approve it officially until he was able to submit, but we did have a contingency plan there. There is Riley holding that big beast, mouth open. And there is the hero shot, the trophy shot. I don't know what you want to call it, but that is a big kitty. Big kitty. Dan Schoss, I see you're just tuning in now. Yes, there was a ton of changes to the scoreboard, man. It was pretty wild, got pretty intense. But I don't know if you caught the last little bit there. You and Kevin were the species award winners with 14 total species on the weekend. So congratulations to you. The Googans were our champions for the weekend in the overall tournament and scoreable fish, but you and Kevin put up 14 different species on the weekend, and it looks like you will take that side pot home. So gonna have to get in touch with the guys on how they're paying up on that with you, but good work, boys. Anders Dahlberg, my little bro, also known as Paper Bitch. Yes, that is precisely what I've been doing, and I don't hate it. Hey, it looks like we got 10 pounder in the lobby. Let's bring him up here. Dan, what is happening, my man?
Hey, Tony, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. So you home and dried off and warmed
Yeah, I
up
just
now?
got home. I had some bad service, so I didn't. I'm just tuning in here.
Okay. So,
So who won?
the Googans were our champions for event 1.
Oh,
They
nice.
took it home with 6 total points on the day and 125 and 3/4 inches. It was actually a tie between them and Mud Puddle on total points, but the inches tiebreaker went to them. So they had 6 species.
Yeah, right at the end there. So that last segment, we were out on the Mississippi, and we weren't really adding to the species. It was mid-afternoon, and we were like, it's kind of make or break time. We got to make a move or grind it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided, we saw, the rainbow was at 12.5. We were like, well, that's not a huge one. And there wasn't a brown up. So we tried to go for the trout, because the Googans were 1 up on us. So if we could knock off their rainbow and add a brown, in best case, we'd be at 7. We'd knock them out. You never know what the other teams will do, but yeah, and we thought our flathead point was fairly safe, after going to the daytime.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. And that flathead that they ended up putting up sounded like they caught it at 4:30 in the afternoon. But they were in a position where it was tough to submit, so they had to wait until they got service at about 8 o'clock to put that on the board. So your fish did hang on for a little while there, but they knocked you off. It was pretty cool to see a brown trout by you guys put up on the board, and I was watching all these points get stolen and added to the board, getting all stressed out, and it was wild. I can't imagine, like, you didn't have any clue of what was going on, so your thought process was more of, all right, knock off these trout, and we can at least stand a chance.
Yeah, we thought we had a shot at winning if we would have, knocked both those trout. In our minds, you never know what's going on, but we had 7 potentially, and we'd knock the Googans down. So we thought we'd have a great shot at being in the top. But yeah, and we caught a lot of browns and rainbows. We actually caught, we submitted a rainbow just for the species list. We caught a rainbow that was 12.25, so it was a 1/4 inch less than Riley's.
Wow. Yeah.
So we were right there.
Yeah, no, it's just like 1/4 inch. It comes down to hundredths of pounds in bass tournaments and stuff like that. And this is an inches game, but 1/4 inch makes all the difference there for you guys.
I know it.
Overall, I should let you know where you stand on the scoreboard. So Googans in first, Mud Puddle in second, Goodwill. I don't know if you recall where they were at. They had 3 species. They were hanging in there in 6th place. They ended up climbing to 3rd place overall. They've got 5 different species on the board. Stole a pumpkin seed from Mud Puddle, which was huge. Mud Puddle stole a red horse from Hogsback, which was massive, and it was just all over the place. Goodwill also added a white sucker to the board, which got them up to 5. So they're in 3rd place. In 4th place overall, due to inches, is the bass holes. They actually edged you out because the bass holes, Tenny Pounder and Hogsback, all ended the day with 4 points. The bass holes had 103 inches, 103 1/4 inches actually. You guys had 68 1/4 inches, and Hogsback had 63.5. So the bass holes take 4th. You guys are in 5th, and Hogsback coming in 6th place overall. So those points will carry into September, and you guys have a free board. You can start all over and have at it. So do you have a new strategy going into event number 2? It sounded like you guys hung around the Mississippi and the Red Wing kind of Wabasha.
Yeah, our game plan, my partner Kevin, that's kind of his bread and butter. So we were going to just ride that, and obviously you got a lot of species availability there. So, and then we always had the back of our mind, well, we know we got some trout waters and semi close. So that's a great question for September. We obviously did this, and it was at all the teams that sounds like had a pretty good chance of winning. There was pretty good cluster there,
So
one fish separation all the way through. So
yeah,
it was mighty close.
I would think if you had to say something now, we would spend at least a day in the same waters. If
Mm-hmm.
at
Well,
least
I mean,
one.
it panned out in terms of species. You guys had 14 total species on the weekend, which was obviously the most. You guys are the
Mm-hmm.
species award winner. I don't know how you guys are handling that side pot, but you guys took that down. So
Okay.
it is something to keep in the back of your mind going into September. But you do have 76 days. I think is what it is. So,
To figure it out. Yeah.
yeah, and time of year and weather and all that stuff
Yeah.
is a factor. So you
Mm-hmm.
guys didn't spend a whole lot of time on the road. Obviously, you did spend about a half a day in a parking lot wrenching on a fuel pump?
No, we were out for like an hour or two, and then we
Okay.
had motor
Okay.
issues, and we did have the trolling motor. We were in the backwaters of Pool 4, and
Okay.
so we were able to trolling motor our way, and we kind of were casting, but priority one was the boat.
Mm-hmm.
We trolling motor do a launch. Kevin's wife drove like an hour and a half to rescue us, and so we trailered the boat up back. We had put in at Red Wing, and we had ran all the way down Lake Pepin to Wabasha because we were going to
Okay.
fish our way back, you
Yeah.
know? And so came out in Wabasha, had to drive all the way back to Red Wing, and then we tried to diagnose the issue in the parking lot at Red Wing, basically. So
God.
we hit several trips to O'Reilly's between the boat and O'Reilly's, and yeah, so
So
we got the motor running, I guess. So that was good, but
is it a temporary fix, or you think that thing's
no,
rock
no,
solid?
it was so it was a stupid issue. There wasn't really an actual problem.
Okay.
It was the it's hard to explain, but basically there was a switch that wasn't in the correct position, and we had checked it visually, but it wasn't obvious. And when we actually toggled it, that's what it was, just like in between states, if you see what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
So
No, that
we had a
makes sense.
multimeter and we were diagnosing the issue, and we basically got to like it's got to be like right here, and then we toggled the switch because that was all that was left, and then that's what started the motor. So
That's a little frustrating, but
yeah,
I mean, what you wouldn't have known unless you spent the time looking into it. So good on you
yeah.
for actually doing that. You're a little bit more mechanically inclined than myself. I think I would have been calling
Well, we learned a lot.
marinas. Yeah.
Kevin, we were joking. We were like, we should apply to be techs at Ranger after tearing his boat apart.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Ranger, hey, we'll take sponsorship, and we have 2 employees
Yeah.
that you can add to
Yeah.
your roster.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nice. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully next round or next event, you guys don't have to deal with boat issues, and you can focus a little more of your time on the water. But it didn't seem to affect you terribly.
Well, we got. I would say that Saturday evening slot was good to us, even though those points got stolen. But we still got the shovel nose out of that,
Mm-hmm.
and the sauger out of that period and stuff. But,
Yeah, surprisingly enough, the only sauger submit on the whole weekend. Actually, walleye, there was only 3 submit, and there was 1 sauger. I would have expected a lot more, but I think a lot of the focus was on those rough fish and tougher to target fish. So
we actually caught a few more, but they were small, of each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you submit 1, you only need the 1
Yeah.
unless it gets beat. So that's a good call. Don't waste a lot of time measuring and taking pictures at that point. So
yeah.
awesome. Well, I don't have anything else. Well, I guess as far as weather goes, did that affect you terribly? Got a visitor in the background there.
We got off the water to trout fish like 10 minutes before it started raining, so we were
Okay.
good in the boat, and but when we were trout fishing, we got soaked,
Yeah.
but we were waiting anyways, so it wasn't horrible,
Sure. Yeah, you were
but
planning on getting wet regardless, so it's just wet from head to toe instead of waist
yeah,
down.
yeah,
So
pretty much.
Nice. Well, nice work. Congrats on the species award, and I guess take that into consideration in your planning for event number 2. And
Yep.
yeah, good luck it's going to be fun. This was intense. I was stressed out coming into the last 5 minutes of lines in the water. There was stealing and submissions coming in. So,
Well,
yeah.
Tony, I want to say thanks. I mean, you put a ton of time and effort into this weekend too. I mean, you weren't fishing, but you put a lot of hours into this. So that's a sacrifice. You got a family, and I really appreciate that too. So
Yeah,
it was a great
appreciate
weekend.
that.
We had a lot of fun, and
Yeah. I had just as much fun as you guys. It was I
yeah.
spent a little more time on the phone than I wanted to, but I was really concerned about making sure things went smoothly. And thanks to Shara, things did go smoothly, because I think if I was solo, this wouldn't have worked out. So appreciate that. But let's do it again. Let's keep this going. I kind of wish we had the July event still.
Yeah.
But all right, man.
All right,
I'll
good.
Let you get some rest and have a good rest of your week. We'll be talking soon. So.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Yep. Talk to you later. All right, there you have it. A little late entry there from Tenny Pounder coming to chat for a little while. Yeah, these guys are dedicated. They're putting time in outside of the event. Obviously, they're pre-fishing and putting strategy together and on species of fish that just, in my mind, I'm not focused on. I mean, I'm a crappie guy. I like walleye fishing. I started chasing muskies a little bit now, and that's about all I feel like I have time for. I'm too even stressed out to try chasing bass, because it's just a whole nother technique for me to add to my list. But these guys are going after everything, so it just shows the talent that we have in this event, and I'm impressed. I hope you guys are impressed. I hope you've enjoyed all of what we've put together over this weekend. It's been a long 40 hours. I'm running now past about an hour and 20 minutes. We're on 42 and a half hours-ish going here, but this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Do we have any last-minute requests or questions or comments or any of those such things that we want to check off before I get to closing things out here tonight? Looking through the comments, we haven't heard from anyone in a little bit, but nothing firing across immediately. So I am going to take this opportunity to finalize and close things off. Again, congratulations to Team Guggen. AJ Walsh, Brenzer. Can't wait till September. Thanks for everyone's hard work. Yes, I can't wait either, AJ. I'm ready to keep putting in more work. I think after this event, I've got some ideas. I've got some changes to the way I'm going to present some things, and hopefully those pan out. Maybe we'll see some more. Maybe we'll see some more sponsors. Maybe we'll see some changes to the rules. But who knows what September will bring? But it is going to be exciting one way or another. So I appreciate you for being here all weekend. I've been noticing you in the comments all weekend long. So with that being said, I am going to close things out here. Wendy, with the comment, thanks again, Tony, for all your hard work. We would definitely like the score sheets. I will post the score sheets on Facebook. I'll post the leaderboard for sure onto Facebook on the Anglers List Facebook page. If you did want to get your hands on the actual total submissions list, I could probably post that as well. Just let me know if that's something people are interested in seeing. We'll get that all taken care of and out there for you guys to check out. It won't be the interactive version. You probably won't be able to see the photos, but I am going to try and put something together with all the fish photos, do a little montage maybe, and get that posted as well. So with that being said, for the weekend, I am going to close it off. I'm finally calmed down. Everything's done. We have a winner. Congrats to the Guggens. They are your champions from event number 1. Congrats to Team Tenny Pounder. They are the Species Awards winner with 14 different species on the weekend. And congrats to all of our other teams, the Bass Holes, Team Mud Puddle, Team Hogsback, Team Goodwill. They all battled it out, and it was exciting. So thanks for watching. I'm going to, one last time, just flash it up here for your viewing pleasure and to touch base on it one last time. The Minnesota Made Outdoors first annual golf tournament fundraiser to benefit the future anglers of Minnesota. Future Anglers of Minnesota is looking to usher the youth of today into the fishing world and help them become the best anglers in the state. We're looking for passionate kids that just need that extra push or are looking for tournament fees, gear, things of that nature that will help them become your next favorite professional fisherman potentially. Hey, hold on a second. Before I close things off, we got Team Hogsback checking in here. Let's chat with Jake for a minute. Jake, what's happening, my man?
Hey, how's it going?
How we doing? Did you just make it home?
Yeah, I just hopped out of the shower, actually. Yeah, we got home late. We grinded to the end, so.
Yeah, last minute, trying to get every little point that you could off the board there.
Yeah, for sure.
Quite a grind for you guys. It was back and forth, looking like you were hanging on to the lead there for a minute, and then it was just steal after steal, and you kind of got just pushed all the way back down to the bottom there.
I know it happened so quick. I mean, from Moon Eye, and then we felt okay about catching a flathead because, I mean, it's not easy to just go out and catch a flathead. So, I mean, we proved it wrong. We had a lot of flathead submitted this time, but, we landed one in last year's tournament, and it was the only one entered. So, we landed one, and I'm like, it wasn't a huge one, but I was like, that might be tough to beat. And then when we catch a 12.5-inch Moon Eye, I was like, that one's going to be tough to beat as well. Also, the 21.5-inch drum, I mean, I felt okay about all of them. They're all gone. So
Yep. Every single one of those points you just mentioned got robbed from you. And I was thinking the same thing as these points are coming in early on. I'm like, God, these are just, odd fish, but good size. Are they targeting them? And sure as shit, they get robbed from you. And, and then you get that last minute robbery of the red horse, which hurts hard because that knocked down a big point for you.
Yeah, I mean, just that red horse that changes the board. We're at 5. That brings them down to 5. But that's the fun. That's the fun of this tournament in general. So I mean, I enjoyed every moment of it. But
that's good. And I before we get too far, I appreciate you. Offering up sponsorship and getting these, whoever our champion is in September at Custom Rod.
Yeah, for sure.
As you know, I'm a big fan of your rods. I got a stack of them here. Got my ice fishing rods, got my musky stick and my crappie stick here. So whoever gets that's going to be very, very happy, I imagine.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to working with that person. I guess hopefully it's Team Hogsback and I'm building myself one, but
there you go.
I'm just kidding.
And then just add to your arsenal that I'm sure is just massive right now anyways. So
yeah, I definitely have no shortage of rods, I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir. Yep, absolutely. So a couple questions for you. So did you check off all the species that you were after for the weekend, or did you kind of strike out in some areas?
I guess for the most part, I did check off most of the species. I personally am not a big trout guy, and that's why it kind of sucks in some of these tournaments because I know these guys are. Riley, I knew what he was going after right away, and so we knew that I needed to get some better size, in some of the species I personally go after. So and I got beat out on some of those, so.
Right. Yeah. And it was just a matter of now, I think, capitalizing on a just bigger fish of the species that you were after. And I think you were in good shape. I personally, it was like, Hogsback's got the walleye locked up, no problem. And for, out of nowhere, the bass holes come in with that 22.5 and it just couldn't be beat for the rest of the day. But I don't think a lot of focus was on that species. Did you guys put a whole lot of time there?
And that's weird because walleye is usually my number one targeted species. I do a lot of walleye fishing. I guess once the 22 went on the board, I was just looking at the board. I debated on making the trek up to Mille Lacs where it's, you can land 23 to 26 inch walleyes,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess pre-fishing and stuff, it just seemed like when I was up there, it was a lot of those 22, inch fish. And
Mm-hmm.
I got to make that travel all the way up there. And maybe I have the same situation as they have. They're catching numbers and stuff, but they don't land. You're looking for that 26 on Mille Lacs or whatever. But
right.
So I actually decided to stay back and try to attack the channel cat, see if we could get a red horse, moon eye. It's a fun game to play, but I guess looking back, I would have maybe considered in the morning heading up to Mille Lacs and trying, to beat that walleye spot, but I decided otherwise. So
yeah, no, and I mean, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You can't really do
Exactly.
anything about those decisions, and that's all. I was having that discussion with Doug Glimmervine of the SmackDown Outdoors podcast, and it's all about decision making. If you can confidently make a decision and forget about the decision you didn't make, it's a lot better for you in the long run because you're not beating yourself up about should have gone up there, should have made this move, should have used this bait. Just stay confident with what you're doing. So I think that was your approach, but
Yeah.
unfortunately the size wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, one of them I wanted to really hit was that sturgeon point, only being at 25 inches, but yeah, it didn't happen. I mean, I saw them, they were jumping. We knew they were in the area, but we couldn't land. And I actually did lose a red horse too that was bigger than the one that I landed. I think it was probably in the 20-inch range. So,
Dang.
So, yeah,
Heartbreak too.
I guess.
It's not much you can do in those situations. That's what it's all about, though. Did the weather really turn anything off or on for you, or was that really a factor at all? Oh, did we lose you, Jake?
I think my phone here. So.
Uh-oh. You still there, guy?
You there?
Oh, there we go. Now we got you back.
Yeah, I think my phone is lagging out on me.
Oh, yeah. Kind of tough to hear you, but was weather a factor for you at all on the day or the weekend at all?
I did find that once the rain started pouring down, it did shut the bite off for a little bit. But I guess overall, we just fought through it. So.
Okay, good. So going into event 2, going to make any changes to your strategy, or are you going to just kind of stick to it and just focus on size and maybe some numbers? Oh, and we lost him. That's too bad. Let's see. We'll give him a couple minutes. I know I was talking about the golf tournament again. I'll throw that back up there really quick. The Minnesota Made Outdoors first annual golf tournament, September 25th, Majestic Oaks Golf Club. That is $100 per player, $400 per foursome. That includes golf cart, range balls, and a burger basket during our raffle and awards ceremony tape deal. You can get your payments over to Jake Kuchenmeister at jakekook@yahoo.com to get registered. He'll take a check, cash, or Venmo. That event will be on the 25th, as I said before. Starts at 11 a.m. with registration, 12:30 shotgun start, and a 5:30 dinner and raffle in the Fireside Room at Majestic Oaks Golf Club. If you have a small business, or any business for that matter, or are just looking to sponsor a hole, get in touch. That's $100 a hole to be a sponsor, and we'll get a sign out there on the tee box for you. If you have any other donations, cash, prizes, giveaways, any of that stuff, let us know, and we would love to have you. So get in touch on the golf tournament. Jake is back. Let's bring him back up here. Jake,
hey, you there?
You're back. Yep, I can hear you loud and clear now.
We should be good. I think my phone actually died. I picked up my tablet to call you. It started lagging there. The last question I think you asked, I know after weather question, I didn't hear anything. So
yeah, the going into event 2, do you have any just thoughts initially on changes to your strategy, or are you just going to kind of stick to it and work on size and numbers?
I think there might be a little bit of a strategy change. One thing is, I guess, my brother was a great partner for sure, but adding Lewis back to the mix, I think will help Team Hogs back out a lot. He's a great angler, so he knows the river up and down, and he's taught me a lot. But I think we make a pretty good pair with our strengths. So I think getting Lewis back, it will help. He's like I said, he's a hell of an angler. So
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. You're going solo to start the whole event, and I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Unfortunately,
yep.
you get your brother in there with you, but I was watching Lewis. The stuff he's posting on social media coming into the event. The weeks coming up, and he's got these just massive catfish and
Oh, yeah.
just humongous fish. I'm like, these guys have got it locked up. That everybody's just got to be scared, and. Come to find out, he's not going to be here event one. So I think you're right. As good of an angler as your brother may be, I think Lewis will be a difference maker for you and part of your strategy. So
Yeah.
do you think that then you might try a little bit more on the river side with, like you were saying, sturgeon, catfish, work on those types of fish, and then work your way outwards towards some of those oddballs? And maybe get that bigger walleye, or just kind of focus more towards the river. You don't have to share anything.
No.
Just kind of prodding right now.
Yeah. I think there's a couple oddballs that we're gonna go after early on, maybe. In our pre-fishing, try to locate them. But my guess is, like a lot of teams, you're gonna find the river in the evening and hit them river species. But I know Lewis and I have a ton of confidence in lake sturgeon come September, that kind of thing, as well as channel cat and stuff. I know I did land actually a big one this evening, but I think we can replicate a pretty big channel cat and a good sturgeon. So, yeah, I guess, like I said, I think we just have to find a couple of those oddballs, and I think we will have a good game plan together for that.
Definitely. And the point that I really like to see on the board is that muskie point, just because I've recently started chasing it, and being that you're on the river, if that is where you plan to go, is that something that you guys would ever put any focus on, or is it just kind of one of those, if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, honestly, Lewis and I talked about this. Sometimes muskie on the river can be more predictable. I'm not a muskie expert by any means, but it's something where we know they're there, and the other thing is, you're soaking cut bait and that kind of stuff. You can also catch muskie doing that, so it's balancing. Do we want to go casting, for 2-3 hours, or do we want to try to luck into one? Soaking stuff on the bottom. So it's just the games you play in your head, But I wouldn't leave muskie out of the question for this coming event.
Nice.
Seems like
it'd be cool to see that caught on cut bait or something. Just like you said, it's kind of one of those, catch it if it's there. If it decides to bite your hook. My first muskie ever was this year, and I was walleye fishing, and he smashed a number 7 flicker shad and destroyed every hook on that bait. But it was a 40+ inch fish, and I wasn't even thinking muskie. So it's
exactly
kind of the nature of that fish. So.
Yeah, exactly, and so it's balancing. Do you want actually in the tournament last year? We did spend 2 hours, casting for muskie, just trying to land that muskie, because we felt that that's going to be a point that's going to stand, kind of like Trent's did. So we spent 2 hours, and right away coming into this tournament solo at the beginning, I didn't have any intentions to cast for muskie, and I thought if someone was going to land one, it was going to be maybe one angler, and Trent did land that, so that was cool to see, though.
Yeah, it sounded like they lost one too. They had a little bit of a heartbreak and then made up for it this last round. It was I was kind of gunning for him in that sense, because it was like, come on, put that fish on the board. That'd be cool to see. So
yeah, for sure. No, I was chatting with them throughout the tournament. Eric and Trent, they're pretty good buddies of mine, so that was fun to hear. They told me they hit a pike and then they missed a muskie, and I told them I think a follow in this tournament should be counted because they're that tough to catch,
Yeah,
and then
It's kind of like that turtle point. The guys, was it the Googans? Kind of
Yep.
ended their day with like four soft shell turtles and a snapper. It's like,
Yep. Actually, funny story. Team Hogsback landed 2 turtles themselves. It didn't come up, but we landed 2 snappers soaking. Actually, the place we caught our flathead, I don't think it was Turtle Island because I talked to Riley and we kind of figured out where each other were, after the tournament.
yep.
But we did catch 2 turtles ourselves going for flathead, which we did catch one. So maybe there's a story to it. The turtles and flathead are friends or something.
Hey, it could be. Yeah, it's what I can't remember what his name is from Ninja Turtles, but the rat. Maybe it's just a flathead in the water now. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. No, we'll have to put up a Ninja Turtle award for event number 2 and just see if you guys can get some turtles. You said snappers. You made it out with all your digits then too.
Yeah, I did. I went the route you did though, or you said you'd go. I didn't mess around with them. I just kept line.
Yeah, I'm not messing around with that. So awesome, dude. Well, appreciate you calling in here. If you got anything else, any shout outs, anything that you want to say?
No, I mean, I think this was awesome. What you and Cher did. So I think everyone greatly appreciates that, and looking forward to event number 2. I'm already looking forward to it. We got some ground to make up, but I mean, it's a crazy tournament. Crazier things happen. So I got faith in Team Hawks back.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see it from Team Goodwill. They go from 3 points all weekend and come in and take over 3rd place with 5 points. It doesn't take much, a couple steals, couple new species. You got a chance, and I'm looking forward to event number 2. So good luck to you. Good work this weekend. It was fun to watch. So get some rest, man.
Yeah, I'm hitting the hay here.
All right, appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, Jake.
Thanks, Tony.
Yep. All right, there we have it. Team Hogsback checking in after a long weekend. Man, this has been a heck of an evening, a heck of a weekend. I've had such a fun time doing this. Now I don't even want to try to sign off again. I might have another team trying to check in with me. But we still got a few people hanging out in the comments, in the viewer section there. If you guys have got any questions right off the bat, we are getting kind of late on the evening, but I'm scared to sign off again. I might get another team to call in late, but I think we'll do it before that happens. Again, thank you to everyone who's been watching all weekend. It's been a blast. Congratulations to the Googans on taking event number 1 and going into event number 2 with a lead, not a sizable lead, but a lead. And congrats to Tenny Pounder for taking that species award. We will see how things shake out into event 2. Keep tuned into the Anglers List Facebook page for more information. Let us know if you need anything, want to see anything, or have any ideas. We are always welcome to your suggestions. And without further ado, I am signing off. I am Tony Dahlberg, the real Tone D. Thank you all again. We will see you soon. Have a good night.